Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's question comes from a man who wants to know what is the most important thing that you can do while you're cleaning houses? Now, there are lots of answers to this question, and it could be sanitizing, it could be organizing, it could be tidying up, it could be a bunch of different things. But my biggest suggestion would be to be present in the moment. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times while we're cleaning houses, it's easy to put headphones on and to be listening to our favorite music and to just zone out so that we're not paying attention to all the little things that we need to be paying attention to. Now, when you do this for a living and you're working for a customer who's paying you for your service, there's a really important need to stay in the moment because things will happen and you may need to flex and change what you're doing or change your routine just a little bit. For example, let's say that you clean a normal person's house and you go there every week or every other week and you have a routine and you always start up in the left master bedroom and you move your way down through the house. And now today there is somebody staying at home because they're sick in that bedroom. So when you get to the house, instead of going to your normal routine, you might have to stop what you're doing and change your routine up a little bit. Here's the catch. When you change up your routine, there's a tendency to forget stuff because you're not doing the normal pattern of what you normally do. So you have to stay in the moment and you have to stay present and you have to make a mental checklist which says, oh, hey, I skipped this whole bedroom earlier today, and on my way out, as I'm vacuuming my way out, I vacuum the hallway at that time in that order. And so now you have to realize I skipped the hallway too because I skipped that bedroom. So when you go back to do the bedroom, now you have to go back and make sure that you do the hallway and the connecting bedrooms. So it's one of the reasons why we use a checklist, because if you're going through your checklist and you're checking things off as you go, if you skip something or you go out of sequence, it's going to remind you to go back and hit those items on your checklist. There are also things about staying in the moment that have nothing to do with the job itself. It's about being aware of what's going on around you in the space that you're cleaning in. For example, if you have a customer for 10 or 15 years, as time goes on, they're going to be 10 or 15 years older than when they hired you. And so there are times if you're present and you're aware in the moment, you might see them slipping cognitively, and that maybe they're putting things in the refrigerator that actually belong in the pantry. And then also maybe you need to call a family member and say, hey, we have some serious issues going on here that nobody is really seeing except me because I'm in the house on a regular basis. And then you can call for help or you can ask the person that lives there, do you need some assistance? And so being present and being in the moment will alert you to those kinds of things. And sometimes you may have to switch gears altogether. I remember on September 11th of 2001, I was cleaning a house and the woman that owned the house had recently relocated from New York City. And her job there, she worked in the World Trade Center. And so there I was cleaning the house and all of a sudden I hear screaming from the other room. So being present in the moment, I run downstairs, are you okay? And she's sitting on the couch crying right as the first of the Twin Towers was hit. And so my cleaning house became menial all of a sudden. That was no longer important. What was important is this woman had a whole life that was built inside this building. Her entire career had been in the World Trade Center, and all of her friends and all of her associates worked there. And so we spent the next 4 hours sitting on her couch as we watched the whole other Twin Tower come down as the attacks happened. And she was frantically trying to call her friends and trying to get in touch with people, see if they're okay, and just trying to make some connections. Her husband happened to be on business in New York City that day. He was not harmed, but he was in New York City on business that day. And so now she's worried about her husband. She's like, don't get on an airplane. Her whole world unraveled as it did for most people that day. But being in the moment, I had to make a decision. And I was the boss, and so I could just make that decision. I didn't have to call headquarters and say, hey, can I help this lady through her issues? But clearly there was some chaos going on that day, and cleaning house had nothing to do with what happened that day. It just kind of went by the wayside and it was not important to her, and it would have been annoying had I been running the vacuum and going about my merry way. What she needed in that moment was moral support for the loss of her friends. And so you have to be present in the moment because there are things that will happen. We're working with humans. And so there are things that will happen that could throw you off schedule. And if you're not the boss, you may have to call headquarters and say, hey, listen, something has come up at this client's house today. There's been a death in the family, and I need to switch gears to be of assistance to this person. Is that okay for the day? And get permission. And if you're the boss, you have the right to just make that call. But be present in the moment because that will keep you on task. It will keep you from slipping through things and being sloppy. And if something does malfunction that needs your immediate attention, it will allow you to shift gears and still be of best service to that client. Because what it comes down to is you are an extra set of helping hands. And sometimes they need your helping hands more than they need a clean countertop. And so being present in the moment is the way you can be of best service to your customers. Alrighty, so that's it for today. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.